you bring her back and I'm gonna marry her.
Trying to avoid having another conversation with him because I'm like, I feel exposed. So we met in July 2021.
And then we didn't see each other for months until December 2021.
Then we went on our first date, January 2022.
And we got married of November 2022.
Crazy story. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Right. So I was living in Maryland when we met.
She was living in Maryland and I was living in South Carolina.
But we happened to be volunteering for the same church. And that July, we had our summer camp experience. And we did this crazy thing that it was like 24/7.
Yeah.
Like we legitimately didn't stop on YouTube.
Now we did sleep though, okay? we didn't go 24/7 for 7 days straight. We got sleep.
I slept like 3 hours every day. I think you also did.
Yeah, it wasn't much sleep. Anyway. We're going off topic. Let's get back on topic.
So that specific summer camp had like a segment at midnight. That's what I'm telling you. I just slept like 3 hours. And we were in the same team that day.
But we didn't know each other.
No.
At this point, we had no idea.
Listen, this is how he introduced himself. Okay.
Okay.
He came in and he's
hold
like,
on.
No.
You're getting ahead of yourself. Let's reel it in. Okay.
No.
Let's pull it back. So, like we were saying, we both got asked to volunteer at a summer camp.
And we volunteered.
And neither one of us wanted to do it because, well, she had been volunteering and then she took work off, but I was working full time. And so I woke up at 5 a.m. and then the call time was like 11 p.m., 12 a.m. So neither one of us wanted to do it, but we got voluntold, so we showed up anyway. Thank God.
Yeah, that was irrelevant. What was important is that he was the one who talked to me first.
That's true.
I met one of his best friends, Fido, and he heard that I was Fido.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You tell your story, and then I'm gonna hop on my side. Okay.
All right. So we were introducing each other because we were in the same team. Remember? So Fido heard my accent, and he's like, "Hey, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Costa Rica." And he happened to be from Nicaragua. So we had like that in common. We're like, pura vida, all the things. But then I was exhausted, you guys. I started volunteering that day like 5 a.m., running reports, all the things. So I sat down like at the sidewalk by myself because I wanted to be by myself.
Right.
But then he came in.
I don't know boundaries.
Like, no, he didn't know at the time. But then he came in and he's like, "Hi, this is Nathaniel, but you can call me Nate." And I'm like,
and it obviously worked. But either way, let's pull it back again. Because she's skipping some parts. On the way to volunteer that night, me and Fido, which is one of my best friends now, we didn't really know each other. It was like we were starting to get to like know one another. And he said on the way, he said, "Nate," and I was single at the time. "Nate, we're gonna find you a woman at this at this event." He said, "We are going to." And I'm like, "Fido, like, I'm not interested in dating."
Please do not use summer camps to do hunting of dating, okay?
No, don't do that. That's not what that's for. We were splitting up the teams between like who would go first, and someone made the comment of, "Oh, well, let's make the boys go first because they're gonna be better." And then she got real spicy, and she was like, "That doesn't mean I forgot what you said. You said something like, 'Oh, that doesn't mean women aren't strong or whatever.'" And immediately, like in my head, I wasn't looking to date, but I'm like, I heard the accent and I heard her do that. And I'm like, dang, that's attractive.
I'm feisty.
That's attractive. But again, like I wasn't looking to date. And then the reason she was sitting by herself lonely. The reason she was sitting by herself on the curb is because there was a weather delay and we had to take a break. And if you know me, you know that I love to meet people. And hearing her accent, I was like, oh, she's not from here, so I'm about to get to know her. Yes, the accent was attractive, but your story was going to be intriguing to me because I wanted to know how you ended up here in the States. And I did introduce myself like, "Yeah, I'm Nathaniel, but you can call me Nate." I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, okay. But moving along, because we're taking a lot of time just explaining how we did our first interaction.
The prequel's the most important part.
All right. So then we started the competition because it was like a battle thing competition that we were doing. And one of the girls from his campus, she started to interview me.
Yeah.
She's like, so where are you from? And I'm like, oh, Costa Rica. Oh, where do you live? Maryland. Oh, Maryland. You're not from here. So how are you connected? And then she's like, and how old are you? Now, mind you, he was already playing or practicing for this next round. When he heard my age, because I'm older, he's like, no way. You look so young. And she's like, and then he went in and whatever he was doing.
Destroyed the game.
And then
probably won. This
girl was like, oh, and are you single? But because I can help you not to be. And I'm like, I am not interested.
I don't know what it was. I never communicated to anybody that I was wanting to date anyone. So I don't know why my friends decided to try to hook me up.
But it was so annoying. Like, if you know me, nobody forces me to do anything. So the fact that she said that, it just made me even not wanting more, not to do it. So she's like, oh, okay, no, never mind. Hey, let me get your number. And I'm like, I give it to her, but I'm looking at her and I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not interested in dating, but here's my number.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no, let's be friends or whatever. So that happened.
Yes. And so at the end of the night when I first met her, I was incredibly attracted to her. She has curly hair, her accent, and just her personality. So I went home and I immediately told my family, like, yo, I met this girl and she has an accent. She's from Costa Rica and she has curly hair and she's a little brown. Like, I was like, oh my gosh.
Sorry, fellas, I'm Latina, what can I say?
Yeah, she stole my heart. But so now that same friend that got her number was like, Nate, listen, I have this girl's number, the one you were talking to. And I said, okay, but she gave it to me anyway. And by this time, Michelle had went back to DC, and she gave it to me. And I was just thinking, like, is it the right time to actually message her? And it wasn't. I felt like I was still in a season of growing and learning and not to sound cliche, but like truly like finding myself and developing relationships, like friendships in that moment where it just wasn't the right time to reach out to her. And so I didn't. And quite honestly, I was like, I will never see this woman again. So it is what it is. Yeah,
which it was very wise that he did that. Obviously, like we believe in God. So we really feel that it was a God thing that he didn't do it. Yeah. Because what he didn't know is that before the summer camp, one of my best friends and I went to Ocean City. And it was just like a crazy and disappointing trip. And I was just very confused. I was very like, needing a break. And that summer camp, one of our favorite pastors, Levi Losco, preached a sermon called You Got a New Memory. So in that sermon, he didn't know me, remember? Like, he didn't know anything about me. Actually, he was not even in that session because he was in the morning and he was working that day. He mentioned something in the sermon about just like taking a break for yourself to set up your boundaries, all the things. So in that moment, without me even meeting him, I told myself, I'm not gonna go on a date for 6 months. As soon as I get back to Maryland,
I had no idea.
Yeah, as soon as I get back to Maryland, I'm gonna reach out to one of my friends whose sister is a counselor. I'm gonna start therapy to figure it out what are some things that I need to work on myself. So if he would have texted me, you need to know, I don't know, I'm very committed to what I say. Yeah, if I commit to something, nothing is gonna make me change my mind. Yes. Extremist. So I legitimately would have rejected him. So I was so glad that he didn't text me. I probably would have found my way in. However, I must say, because I was going through a lot of emotions and healing and all the things, I did think he was a good guy. So in my mind, I'm like, I know this friend. I left an impression. Like memory. Like all right. So I did think that he was a good guy. So I'm like, I have this friend that she's super innocent. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just felt that he seemed like a very pure person and that he needed someone like that. And I was. And all right. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna introduce them because I feel like they could be the perfect couple. Like, she doesn't have like a history. her testimony is very pure, whatever. So I felt unworthy of being able to be with someone like him. I felt like I needed to have someone so messy in my life that his life was restored, and then it made sense that we were together.
Yeah.
But this is me making assumptions of his life, because remember, I didn't know anything of him. However, you told me that at the same time that I was going through therapy, all the things.
So while she's processing and she's going through all of that, and she's going through counseling, at the same time, now we're in the in-between period, right? This is between July and December 1st of 2021.
But wait, let's make a disclaimer. Mind you, we didn't see each other or talk to each other for that amount of time. No contact.
And I'm not one of those people where, like, if I meet somebody, like, oh, they stay on my mind. That was never me. But during this period, after a few months, for some reason, and again, like she said, we do believe in the Lord, she would just kind of like pop up in my head, and I would get frustrated because that's not my personality. It's not who I am. But like she would just pop into my head, and so like I would just pray for her, or I would
pray for her, ladies.
Look,
okay.
Yeah, see, I was praying for her. I was taking care of her before she knew me. Okay. But yeah, I would pray for her. But it got to a point where me and my best man, his name's Dutchie, we were walking. We were just like taking a hike or whatever. We're walking through the woods. And we talked about relationships, and I was like, Dutcher, I don't know why, but this girl I met, she just left an impression on me, and I don't know why, and I keep on just thinking of her, and I don't know what to do, but I forgot that I had said this until I proposed to you, where I said, and now I'm talking to God, I said, God, if you bring her back, I will marry her. Like, I will marry her. And I forgot I said that.
I had no idea about this.
And I forgot about it, but I was in a place of like frustration where I'm like, God, like, okay, if she's on my mind, you bring her back, and I'm gonna marry her. And then December 1st.
Little did he know that I was applying for the church that we work at right now. So I ended up moving to Charlotte. I moved, I think, November that year.
Yeah.
But December 1st, we had another huge event at this church where he was volunteering. I was now working there. And I didn't know that I was going to see him. And I don't say this in the wrong way. Like, please don't take it wrong. But I am not someone that is easily impressed. I'm not someone that is going to get nervous to talk to someone. Like, I am just very like, mind your business. You're just a human being. I don't care how many followers. I am that type of person.
Yeah.
So I don't get nervous talking to anybody. At the end of that event, though, he came to me and he's like, hey, it's you. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. And all of a sudden, if you're Hispanic, or maybe if your native language is not English, you're going to understand this. I felt like a tongue twist. My words couldn't come out right. I'm like, no, legitimately, I got like a kindergarten, so freaking nervous. And now in my mind, as he is continuing to talk to me, I'm like, what is going on? Like, Michelle, get it together. Why are you getting so nervous? Like, my hands were sweating. I'm sweating just to remember that. But then this guy from his campus, as he was asking me, what are you doing here? This guy interrupted our conversation, and the guy was like, didn't you hear that she's now working here? So, and then he's like, oh, so you're moving here. Yeah. But his tone going higher and higher.
Okay. So yes, but I think the interesting part is that we were both like serving, and we were just being like good stewards with our responsibility. And so I went that night. It was December 1st. We were just doing a recording, and I was like just with my boys. So I was a youth e-group leader, spending time with my youth. We're hanging out, and I was never like, even the way she was like positioned, she was like. She wasn't on like a pedestal, but she was like on a step, so she was like 2 to 3 steps higher than me. And so when I turned around, I was just like looking up, and I feel like my stomach dropped. I'm like, oh snap! And I said, oh, I said this. You probably don't remember me, but we were in the same group at Youth X.
And I hear, oh yeah, and of course I knew who he was in the moment that I saw him. But the interesting thing is, remember, I did counseling, so that went great. I felt like in a different stage. And I felt just stronger within my identity, my boundaries, all the things. So I told my friends, because this is something that happened before I even moved. I remember my dad, like my chosen dad, he's like a dad to me. Before I left Maryland, and he's putting my last things in my car, in the car rental that I had, he's like, oh, Michelle, I feel like you're going to find your husband there. All I ask, please let it not be an Ohio State fan.
Yes, I'm an Ohio State fan.
He is. And I remember telling Dad, oh my gosh, no, don't even say that. I don't have time for that. This is my new job. I need to focus on my job, all the things. That's why, like, when you plan something or where you're less expecting something, I think that's the best time when it happens.
That's when it happens.
Yeah, so I remember that day that I left, I went up to my apartment and I legitimately just asked myself, what was that about? Like, I am very self-aware. When I feel something, where is this coming from? And I just couldn't stop thinking of him. But now I knew that we had another big event in January.
Okay.
And I'm like, dang, I'm going to see him there. I really need to be prepared to just get over this. Whatever I'm feeling, I need to get over this. A week later, we saw each other at that event in December 1st. He had a car accident, and I started to follow him on Instagram first. I did, because this is the thing. I'm someone that doesn't like to waste my time. So I'm like, if I'm feeling something, I'm gonna figure it out who this guy is. So I found him.
And I don't post much though. So
yeah,
she
I'm
wasn't gonna find much.
I couldn't find much, but I feel like days later, you posted that you had a deer car accident.
Yeah, well, that December 1st, backing it up a little bit, I went home and I said, guys, you won't believe who I saw. It's the same girl from the youth camp. And then when you followed me, I remember where I was when you followed me. I was driving out. I don't know where I was heading, but I was driving out of the driveway. And all of a sudden, I see, oh, Michelle Castro followed you. I put my car in park. I put it in park, so I stopped the vehicle. I opened the door, and I ran inside, and I told my family, guys, fam, you won't believe who followed me. I was like, do you think she's like hitting on me?
Okay.
And I was right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So he had a car accident and I did DM him to see if he was okay. But legitimately, it was not with intention of, I don't know, to have a deeper conversation than that. It's like, oh no, I had a car accident just before I moved. And that's true.
Yeah. And
that's it. We left it there. So in January, we had this other big event. We have big events, as you can tell.
Yeah, we do.
So in that event, I had one of my best friends staying with me, and she happened to be also a volunteer, so she was going to the event. The first thing she asked when we were driving, I was picking her up from the airport, and she's like, have you seen someone that you may like? And I'm like, girl, I don't have time for that. This is my first year in this job. I want to be able to focus on this. I don't have time. This is a distraction. And I am like, I don't feel ready for that, okay? I just got out of counseling, all of the things, right? And then she's like, oh, sometimes things happen when you are when you are not ready. And I'm like, whatever. However, I knew that his interactions with me were not normal at that event. True. Like, he was so attentive, he was smiling, like glowy, and I'm like, however, if you notice something weird or strange or different at this event, because I knew that he was coming, let me know. I didn't mention who he was, how he looked like, anything. I didn't give her any clues.
So same thing. My friend Dutcher, the same one that I walked with on the trail and told him, like, oh, there's this girl. I never brought you back up to him. No, never brought, that's right. Never brought you back up to him before that event, and he attended the event. Yeah. Okay, you tell your story.
Yeah, so we're in this event, and I don't know what I was doing, that we came across each other. And I'm like, oh, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing very well. And then we started talking, and all of a sudden, as you can tell, he's white, right? So he turned red, but I don't know what type of coat he was wearing that his neck, all like everything was red as a tomato. And I just finished the conversation, went in, I needed to get some things ready, and she went behind my back and whispered me, it's the guy that is wearing this gray color peacoat, and he started to describe, she started to describe him, and I'm like, that is creepy, but yeah, it's him. Okay. But in the moment, that she described him, obviously I knew that she was talking about Nate. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not talking to this guy. Yeah. I'm not letting this happen. So right after that experience, we had an after party.
Okay, pause. But also after that conversation, Dutcher as well, he comes up to me because you walked away. You said, yeah, I have stuff to do, whatever. We had a great conversation, although it was only like 5 minutes. We had a great conversation. She walks away. My friend Dutcher, he comes up to me and he's like, oh, she's the one. I'm like, oh, what do you mean she's the one? What are you talking about? He's like, the trail that day, like she's the one. And I just started like, when I tell the truth or like when you figure something out about me, my instinct is laugh, and I just like started laughing. Yeah. And I was like, dang, Dutcher, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So at the after party, as I was saying, I just hit myself. I'm like, I'm gonna go to a place where he's not gonna go. We had like massages and things like that. So I'm like, this guy's not gonna come this way. So I told one of my coworkers, hey, I'm gonna help you in here. And she's like, no, girl, Ashley, go and enjoy yourself, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm helping you. I feel like you need a lot of helping here. So I stayed there all night, legitimately, because I was just trying to avoid having another conversation with him because I'm like, I feel exposed. So he ended up coming to the room that I was in, and this is what he said. Oh, there you are.
But, and here's the thing, I wasn't planning on, what? Yeah. No, you wanted me to find you. No. Come on. No, but I actually wasn't going to go into like the massage room because I just felt weird like getting massages around everybody else. I'll be honest. So I was like, I'm not going to go in there. But what happened was I was sitting with my friend group, and and they had my bag and they had disappeared. So I went all over the event venue place, and then I was like, okay, fine. I got to go in the massage place to see if they're in there. And they were in there, and then you were talking to them when I walked in.
Which it sounds like a setup to me.
Yeah. Oh, but it wasn't. By that time, it wasn't like I wasn't on my mind. Right. It was starting to get late. So anyway, we see each other in there. And immediately, like, we start talking. But what got weird was, like, we would say the same thing at the same exact time. Yeah. And then we would laugh at the same time. But it's like nervous laugh, like, because then we were like, realized, like, oh, that's a weird connection. Like, you could tangibly feel the connection. It felt unreal. Like, it just felt like something you would see in movies. You could, and other people noticed it as well. But
it felt like, to me, because it has never happened to me before, but I'm like, I just felt like, oh my gosh, like, what is it? Yeah. And then obviously this friend that knew of him, she's like, oh my God.
We talked for the rest of the night until we left.
Yeah, because we did, and so she saw me leaving to my car as we were saying like goodbye.
We were talking about all of the things. We were the last ones out of the event, her and I. We were walking out. Yeah.
So the event, and he had a different campus. I had my campus. So it's not that we were going to see each other. Yeah. However, I don't know what question. Oh, movie thing I asked on Instagram. Like, like how you can.
Oh, you're forgetting the part though.
What part?
Okay. So after we left and you walked to your car that night, me and my friend group, we stayed there and we talked a little bit. And the same girl that got your number and tried to give it to me, she looks at me and she's like, Nate, like, are you gonna date her? And me, I was just really happy being single. I'll be honest, like, she was happy being single. I was happy being single. Like, I never was the person to be like, oh, I have to be in a relationship. Like, just wasn't who I was. I really did enjoy being single. And And she looks at me, she's like, Nate, like, are you gonna date her? I said, no, of course not. Like, and I knew her age, and I'll be honest, I was like, well, she's a couple years older than me. She's probably ready to have kids. Like, I want to pursue the things I want to pursue.
Not ready at all.
And I was wrong completely. And it's so crazy. But then she's like, Nate, fine, you're going to die alone when you're older. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to be happy about that. And so days pass, and that happened on a Friday. Monday morning comes, and I wake up, and I feel like what she said carried a certain weight on my heart, where I had to bring it up to Dutcher and was like, actually, you know what? I think she was right. Like, am I being stupid? And I just felt like almost like a conviction after that point. And so I think it was the following weekend, that is when she posted a story on her
question box.
A question box on her Instagram. Oh, what movies should I watch? And I stopped there, and again, like we said, we do believe in the Lord, and I just like prayed. I was like, should I respond to this? And it felt like such a deep conviction, and like almost like I had to be obedient to it, where I responded, but I gave like a list. I gave a list, like
that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. He responded with a movie that I have already watched.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's true.
Correct me.
So I'm like, oh yeah, I have watched that movie. It's so good. End. Period. Like that's all. And he's like, what's your type of movie so that I can recommend based on that?
Because I was going to deliver, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to recommend a movie that she already watched.
He took his time. Let me tell you, this is the best draft text that you would send on Instagram. He put bullet points.
I put emojis.
He put a list, all the things.
We should drop it. I'm going to screenshot it and drop it in this part on the
because
video.
Because that's not how guys text. And I'm like, all right.
That's how this is a man texting here.
I'm like, he really is taking his time to answer like a very simple question.
She didn't want me to.
But then I think something that we had in common is that we don't do chit-chat conversations. Yeah. Either if it's deep, but we don't like
Both of us knew like we liked each other by this point.
Yeah. I feel like at that point it's like, okay, there is something that is happening. Yeah. Then we continue talking. We're not going to get into the details because then we're going to make this video super long.
Way too long.
But we talked a lot.
She hit on me a lot.
Stop it. So we talked a lot, but we never told each other, oh, we like each other, or I feel like this way about you. Nothing. We were just trying to discover who we were.
Yeah.
And
what does she like? What do I like?
He asked deep questions about goals and fears and all the things. And all of a sudden, I realized, oh, dang, I'm speaking over his life and he's speaking over my life. And something that I did was I told only 2 colleagues that I was talking to him. And they were like, oh my gosh, yes, whatever. And I'm like, no. I don't want to waste my time. I don't know if this guy is a hunter. You know, like I'm the new girl in town and all of a sudden.
That wasn't me.
He fell in love with me. But I was very defensive because that has been my experience in the past. So that day, it was like a Sunday, and they were like, you actually should just ask him to go out and grab some coffee. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that because I don't mind taking that next step. However, what I did is I texted a friend that we had in common. That he was actually his leader, and I trusted him very much. Like I'm like, he's a solid dude. He's gonna tell me the truth.
Yeah.
So I just texted him and I'm like, hey, quick question. What are your thoughts on Nate? And, you know, when you ask that question, you are kind of like expecting like a superficial answer or whatever.
Great guy.
This guy, no, legitimately, he sent me like 2 paragraphs just telling me like how amazing Nate is, you know, like that he's legit or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow, if I feel like doing it in the afternoon, I'm going to ask him if he would like just to grab some coffee. Because if we don't have the same connection that we've been having over DMs, because we didn't even have our number at the time, I'm like, then that's the end. But I don't want to be in this back and forth messages as if we were teenagers, because I'm like, that's not who I am.
No.
So I did. I texted you.
That's true.
And I'm like, hey, would you like to go for grab some coffee or whatever?
Yeah.
What do you feel when I did?
Well, so I had already... there was 2 people that knew about you. Okay, so the friend we have in common, he was like, Nate, you should ask her out. And I'm like, well, I don't even know if she's going to say yes, right? But at this point, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of chatting, like she said. Like, I want to take it a step further. And so we were going to see each other in person that Wednesday. I don't like to do things that have deep, significant meaning over like texting. I just feel like it's not as real. And so I was going to do it in person. Mm-hmm. I was going to wait until Wednesday. But she texted me on that Sunday, and I wasn't going to deny it. And I think my stomach dropped, and then I probably told everybody I knew. Probably. Yeah. And I was just so excited.
So had no idea that he was planning on inviting me, asking me out on that Wednesday. So in my mind, I'm like, a coffee, I can do that.
Yeah.
But when you asked me, like, okay, where should we meet? I'm new to the area, so I had no idea. So I started to pull my Google Maps and trying to figure it out. What's a place that if something weird happened, is a clear exit? So I asked him to meet in the Waverly Walk.
It was like the most public place.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want people to think anything weird or anything like that. I'm like, I'm gonna meet in an open area where this guy doesn't feel any type of way. Yeah. So we did no coffee. We didn't have any coffee. We just talked like for good 5 hours.
Yeah.
At the point that it got late, so we ended up grabbing dinner at Chewy's.
Yeah.
Now, this is the fun part that he always likes to tell, because as we were leaving, he wanted to walk me out to my car. Now,
of course. It's dark outside. Yeah. It's cold. Yeah. I want to make sure she gets to her car safely. Yeah.
But what he didn't know is that day before I left to see him, I told God, if this guy tries to kiss me, I will never go out with him again. Yeah. Remember, I am very extreme, so I'm like, I am gonna commit myself to this. Yeah. So in the moment that he was like supernatural about it, he's like, hey, let me walk you to your car or whatever. I'm like, no, it's okay.
No. And I was thinking like, oh God, like, all right, this date was bad. I get it. She doesn't want me to walk her.
And I'm like, no, it's okay. So I can do it myself, whatever. Because in my mind, what has happened in my past is, a guy would take that time to kiss me or whatever.
But I'm persistent.
And I just didn't want. The date was so great. Our conversation was so fun that I'm like, I don't want him to mess it up, because now I made this promise to myself and to God.
She don't know me, guys. She doesn't know me.
Yeah, but this is just me being defensive again.
Generalizing me.
There were walls that he needed to break. So he ended up walking me to the car. Yeah. And I am nervous, like legitimately. I'm like, please don't ruin it. He asked me.
Yeah. Tell him what I asked.
So he's like, I forgot. So I was planning on asking you out on Wednesday. What made you ask? I quit out control. I turned and I said, because I couldn't wait until Wednesday.
And she said it so quickly.
And in my mind, I'm like, what did I just say? I'm like, okay, bye, see you Wednesday. I go in my car and I'm like, what?
And I think that left me speechless. I didn't know what to say to that.
And I didn't know what to say. So I'm like, okay, bye. And and the rest is history. Then that Wednesday, he did ask me out for an official, I think that same night, he asked me out he's like, hey, that was so much fun. Yeah. I would love to take you out. Again. Yeah. Would you let me plan it? And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I legitimately didn't know where he was taking me or anything like that. We went on our first date to Whitewater Center. Again, like super, super fun. And then this is where it gets funny, because we did kiss at that second date.
That's true. We did.
Yeah. So in his mind, we were dating already.
Right?
In my mind.
I feel like if you were to kiss somebody, like, that's official.
Yeah, no, for me it was not official. I'm like, he just kissed me. But then we had another second date the following week because of my birthday. So I was very confused. Yeah. Like, we didn't.
But we had gone like 2 weeks by this time?
Yep. Like 3 weeks almost. The Chewy's, then the Whitewater Center, and then
your birthday.
My birthday, where we were like, where did we go?
We went to, so we were planning on going to Korean barbecue because I had never had it.
Yes.
And it felt like it was going to be fun. I still haven't had it because that night we got lost
in
Charlotte.
Lost in Charlotte. and
so
it was freezing.
It was cold, but we settled for, it's like a barbecue or like a burger place.
No. But it was before that. We went to the gaming place.
Oh, yeah. We threw some axes, things like that.
And everybody in that place thought that we were dating because they were like treating us as a couple, and I'm like, this feels weird. I need clear expectations. What is happening?
Yeah.
So out of the game, we didn't kiss or anything like that, but we were in this restaurant, and I just asked him straight up. I'm like, okay, so what do you want out of this? Like, what's your plan? Whatever. Like, I don't want to waste my time.
I was planning that week to ask her out, because someone told me, like, no, you guys aren't dating. And then I was like, wait, I thought it just kind of formed. I thought it was just like, oh, over time you just become a couple. But they were like, no, like, you need to ask her out. But that felt so high schoolish to me, where I was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Like, it felt weird.
Yeah.
And so I really was like, I called so many people. And then she asked that question, and I was like, oh, perfect. So I was going to bring it up anyway. And what did I say? What
you said was, oh, I don't have any doubts about you, whatever. Yeah. Like, he did give me a whole thing, but then at the end, what he said is, I think that we should be exclusive.
Yeah.
And in my mind.
But for me, it was like, oh, that's a more mature way to ask.
But, like, I think he didn't want to sound like school-ish by saying, you want to be my girlfriend?
Yeah, it felt very weird.
So he thought that maybe exclusive was more like a grown-up term, but in my mind, I'm like, exclusive, okay, language barrier. I'm like, what do you mean by exclusive?
You didn't ask me that, though.
No, I didn't. I went home.
She was like this. Yeah.
I legitimately ignored it, and I think I continued eating my pasta. I'm like, exclusive, huh? Okay. So my roommate was waiting for me in the apartment, and she's like, tell me everything. And I tell her everything, but then I'm like, then at the end, he said this thing about that we should be exclusive. What do you think he meant? She's like, oh my gosh, Michelle, let me laugh first. And then she's like, he just asked you to be his girlfriend. I'm like, that's not how you ask a woman to go.
So how do you do it, though?
Like, you needed to say that. Like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Exclusive works, though, as well.
Whatever.
It works.
So he
Drop
should.
in the comment if that would work for you.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Continue. Yes. So next weekend, I told him, like, the time that you told me this, I didn't understood it, but now I did. So yeah, I think we should do that. We continue dating. And then around May, we are starting to
get serious.
Yes, we're not going to get into the details because
we had some hard conversations between then of like, what does it look like to be a wife or a husband or raising kids, or what are your thoughts on divorce, things of this nature. So we had a lot of tough conversations really within like the first 5 to 6 weeks of dating.
Yeah. So right after, I told him, like, I understood what he meant by being exclusive. We decided to continue, obviously, like, dating. Yeah. And we were very sure that we were not playing games.
Yeah.
So we started asking each other very hard conversations.
Right.
Like, no hard conversations. We started to ask each other hard questions. For him, it was very important, like, what were my views on divorce?
Yeah.
For me, it was very important to hear what was his mindset around a woman in empowerment positions. Like, I didn't see myself, or I don't see myself as a stay-in mom. And for me, it was very important that he knew that that was not my plan for my future, that I was not like a baby machine, just having kids and he working or anything like that. I'm like, that's not the type of woman I am. So we started having those conversations to just make sure that he was not wasting his time. I was not wasting my time. Out of that, it started to make a lot of sense. Our friends, our circle, the people that we love and we trust, they just started to reinforce, like, you guys seem to be doing great together. They started to even give us ideas of what other questions we should be asking each other.
Had a lot of
support. I think it's because deep down they kind of saw that we were moving quick, in the sense like, oh, they're already talking about this. So they started to give us more questions. In May, we started to talk about marriage. in July, we booked our venue without being proposed. And this is one of the things, like in the next video, maybe we are going to talk about our views and being engaged, all the things. Because for me, it was not important to have a ring to be planning our wedding. It was more a thing of, I wanted my friends from Costa Rica to be able to come, and we needed to book a date so that they could start looking into flights and things like that. And he asked me, like, do you mind if we booked the venue before I even proposed? Because, I mean, it was quite a lot of, like a fast time, and I'm like, I really don't care. You proposed in August?
In August, same day. So we went skydiving that same day.
We're not gonna give you the details because that was a fun weekend.
Yeah, we'll have to. That's a whole nother video. Our proposal. So I proposed to her on the beach, Outer Banks, with our friend group.
Yeah.
And then.
Then November we got married.
Like heavy wedding planning.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then we got married on 11/11/22.
Yeah, and it was just like a beautiful year.
Yeah.
Like looking back, it is hard to believe that we were able to do all those things in such a short period of time. Yeah. But I also think it's 9 months. Yeah, but I also think it's because we had an amazing
support system.
Yeah, like
we had a
genuinely
fantastic support system, still do. And that's the story.
Yeah. So guys, we just really wanted you to get to know a little bit who we are, how we met, all the things. So that's it. This is who we are.